now, for the next 30 minutes, as the world turns.
Amanda? Are you all right? The witness may take the stand. Mr. Freeman, are you ready to proceed?
Your Honor, the prosecution has no further questions of this witness.
Very well. Does the defense wish to cross-examine?
Chris, I wish you luck. I mean that. I want you to cross-examine this witness. You mean you don't want to cross-examine your own son? But you insisted on it. You're prepared to do it. I am not prepared to do what has to be done. I think you know what I mean. Chris, he's your son.
Gentlemen?
Right now.
Are we ready?
He is your witness. Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hughes, I believe you mentioned that you currently live by yourself.
That's right.
You were married at one time, weren't you?
Yes?
Your wife is now dead.
She is.
Well, before she died, you were divorced, were you not?
No, I was not divorced. And even if I were, that's none of your business.
Continue, Mr. Martin.
Mr. Hughes, I believe you said that you first met Miss Holmes when she had a legal problem and was referred to you. Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
And since that time, I believe you said that you saw Miss Holmes occasionally.
That's right.
You became a friend of Miss Holmes. I believe that's how you put it.
I tried my best to be a friend of Miss Holmes, yes.
But you were careful not to be more than that. Isn't that right?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, Mr. Hughes, when you had these occasional visits with Miss Holmes, where did they usually take place?
Various places.
In restaurants, you mean?
Sometimes.
In her home?
Sometimes.
And in your apartment on other occasions, Mr. Hughes?
Now, if you think there's anything wrong by Miss Holmes coming to my apartment.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I didn't suggest that. But, bachelors frequently have young ladies visit them in their apartment. I don't suppose Miss Holmes has been the only young lady you've been accustomed to having up to your apartment, was she, Mr. Hughes?
Gentlemen.
Look, I'm not going to answer that question.
I don't represent
Mr. Martin.
you.
I think that question was inappropriate. I'd suggest you ask the witness another question.
All right, Mr. Hughes, I'd just like to clarify a few of the answers you gave to Mr. Freeman's question.
I thought my answers were quite clear.
Now, is my understanding correct that you had no romantic interest in Miss Holmes? Mr. Hughes, would you please answer the question? Court reporter, as you know, can only put down what you say.
I believe that's correct.
You believe that's correct?
All right, no, I didn't.
You didn't have any romantic interest in Miss Holmes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you never did have any. Is that also correct?
All right, yes.
If Amanda Holmes thought you ever had any romantic interest in her, she was mistaken. Is that correct?
Yes, she was mistaken.
And if she thought that your inviting her to dinner and to visit your apartment meant that you had any romantic interest in her, she was very much mistaken. Was she not?
I believe I answered that.
In fact, your interest in Miss Holmes was only that of a friend.
That's what I said, yes.
Mr. Hughes, do you consider Miss Holmes a special friend of yours?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, perhaps Miss Holmes didn't know what you meant. Mr. Hughes, you're considerably older than Miss Holmes, aren't you?
What difference does that make?
Well, your practice to become a friend to other young girls like Miss Holmes?
Well, look, I don't have to sit here and take these accusations. I'm not on trial.
Aren't you, Mr. Hughes? Well, perhaps you should be. Now, isn't it true that you led this young girl on, that you smoothly and adroitly persuaded her to have an affair with you and become a special friend of yours?
No, he did not. He didn't. He's good.
No more questions. This court is recessed.
You're not the...
Sorry, Ruth. Chris, I'm sure you'll realize, as I do, what Amanda's outburst has done to our case. Whatever case we had before Donald took the witness stand. We couldn't foresee that. Now, come on, sit down. There's something I've been putting off, and I don't intend to put it off any longer. I was led to believe that I'm co-counsel in representing Amanda Holmes. I don't think there's any question about that. No, there's been a question in my mind, Chris. You ignored my recommendation from the start. You knew I wanted to make a deal with the prosecutor, even before you asked the court for a psychiatrist to examine her. You said the girl was confused and mixed up, and in your opinion, wasn't able to stand trial. I knew you were wrong. And the psychiatrist proved you were right. All right. You get your point. But do you honestly believe that you're representing Amanda Holmes the way she should be represented? Do you honestly believe you have her interest at heart?
Yes, I do.
Even if you're wrong?
I don't think I am wrong.
Chris, why don't you withdraw from the case and let me handle it? I'm not even sure I can make a deal with Freeman, not at this stage of the game, but I want to try.
You want to try, huh? I don't think you know this girl, Dick. I don't think you know our client.
I know her better than you do.
Well, I don't think you do. Do you think you can persuade Amanda Holmes to change her plea from not guilty to guilty?
Yes, I think I can do just that.
Well, I think you had better forget it.
And lose the case? This girl spent years in prison without making a try? No, I want to see Amanda. I want to talk to her. I want to tell her the facts. This girl's living in a dream world.
I don't think she is.
Well, I do. I'd like to talk to her without you being present, Chris. You're too easy. Now, if I could just handle this case alone.
Well, you can just forget that.
All right, I'll forget it. But I'm going to see Amanda. I'm going to talk to her.
All right. Go ahead. See her. Talk to her. See how far you get.
Oh, Dick.
Is it all right if I go in to see Chris?
Sure. But, you're really concerned, aren't you?
Yes, I'm concerned.
Well, I'm on my way to see Amanda. Well, it might not be a bad idea if you told Mr. Hughes how concerned you are.
Want to be alone, Chris?
Oh, no, not at all.
Dick Martin just told me he was going to see Amanda.
Yes, yeah, well, we're a little upset with what happened here in court. We'll have to have this recess.
It's not going very well, is it, Chris?
Well, Neil, you've been here every day. What do you think?
What do I think? Chris, I am concerned about Amanda, her future.
Neil, I haven't said anything to you because I know you've been through a lot with this eye surgery.
Fine.
Well, you still have to be concerned about the original eye condition, don't you?
Oh, yes, I will. There's nothing anyone can do about that, but I'm going to be all right. Now, what were you going to say, Chris?
Neil, I think you know Amanda Holmes better than any others. I'd like to call you as a character witness for Amanda.
Well, I'd like to do anything that I can to help her. Except that I'm not sure that I know any more about it. More about what happened between Amanda and Sarah.
Neil, did Amanda love Don?
don't know how to answer that question, Chris.
You better think about it, because it's a question I intend to ask you when you take that witness stand.
And now the second portion of As the World Turns.
Neil, you've had so little to say about what happened in court.
Well, I hardly know what to say. Donald was a witness for the state.
I understand it. We both know how fond he is of Amanda.
He couldn't help it. Petty, he was subpoenaed. And I'm afraid what he had to say was very damaging to Amanda. The state's completed its case.
Have they proven anything against her?
It presented substantial evidence. Some of it's pretty strong, Penny. I waited when the court was recessed, and I spoke to your father.
Oh? What do you have to say?
Actually, not very much. He seems very depressed, Penny. I have a feeling that he and Dick Martin don't see eye to eye. Your father didn't go into any detail, but I think there's some disagreement between them.
Well, when will the defense present its case?
Oh, sometime next week. Your father is thinking of calling me as a character.
Oh?
I know Amanda. Well, I guess we both know her better than anyone, other than her mother.
Sometimes I wonder if anyone ever really knows anyone.
Penny, we work with her in the shop every day, very close.
Neil, we both know there was a time when Amanda had a crush on Don.
Yes, I know that. And I also know that you were the first person who thought that Amanda really wasn't in love with Donald, that it was just a crush and she got over it.
That's what I thought at the time.
And you changed your mind.
You know, I don't know anything anymore. I'm as fond of Amanda as you are, but there's so many things that have happened that... Well,
Well, what?
why, when she was out on bail, why did she run away? Why did she want to hide? And why did she go back to using the name Jennifer Roberts?
Penny, what are you saying?
I'm not sure about anything, of course, but it's possible that Amanda pushed Sarah down that flight of stairs. I mean, it's just possible it wasn't an accident.
I went to Sarah's apartment with the books she'd ordered, and I brought the letter with me. And I told her everything. I told her I knew who she was and who I am.
Why? Why, Amanda?
Why? For Donald's sake. Neil, I wanted to make sure that she wouldn't be able to hurt him. I know the kind of woman she was. I know what she would have done to him.
Now, Amanda, there must be more in it than just that.
Much more. Much more. Well, I told her that I wanted her to break her engagement. And she said that nobody would believe me. She said that everyone knew how I made up stories. But, Neil, I had proof. I had the letter. So I read it to her.
What was in that letter?
Proof that Sarah Fuller gave birth to me. And she wanted it. She wanted the letter, and she tried to take it away from me. And I ran out into the hall, but she didn't stop. She just kept on. She grabbed me and tried to take the letter away, and the elevator didn't come, so I ran for the service stairs. She followed me, and we fought, and she screamed. And all of a sudden, she was at the bottom of the stairs.
And it was an accident.
All I know is I didn't push her.
Why? Why did you go there in the first place?
I told you I wanted her to break her engagement. That's all I wanted.
Why didn't you tell this to your attorney? What are you hiding?
Neil, Ann Holmes is the only mother I ever had. Do you think for a minute I'd let her know that my father had an affair with that woman? She can't ever know. And you promised.
Amanda, tell me the truth. And if she did, am I bound by that promise? If I tell Chris, will it save her? Will it free her? Or will it prove to the state that she's guilty?
Perhaps I never did love Donald. But he was my friend. He was my special friend.
Miss Holmes? Miss Holmes, you have a visitor.
Hello, Amanda.
Mr. Martin.
I want to talk to you. We won't be long. Come over here and sit down. I want to talk to you.
You're angry, aren't you, because of what I said this afternoon? Well, I'm not sorry, Mr. Martin. I meant every word of it. And I'd say it again, because it's true. He is good.
I just don't understand it. I just don't understand why you're so fond of staying behind bars.
I am not here because I want to be.
Oh, yes, you are, young lady.
Mr. Martin.
Every time your cell door starts to open, you slam it by doing something idiotic, like you did today, like you did yesterday, like you've done almost every day this trial has been going on, like you did on March 17th, when you thought you could talk Sarah
I
out
hate
of
you.
marrying Amanda.
What's going on here?
Nothing. It's all right. It's all right. Amanda, come over here and sit down. I said come over here and sit down.
You want to shout at me again? Did you
Now,
just
you
come here
just
so-
be quiet. Listen to what I have to say. And don't interrupt me until I'm finished. Now, you pushed Sarah Fuller down those stairs. Now, I don't think you intended to do it. And I don't think you even knew what you intended to do except get Donald Hughes away from Sarah Fuller. You loved him. And you thought he loved you. You thought that you had a future together. Well, what do you think you have now after what you saw and heard this afternoon? You have nothing. You don't have Donald Hughes. What's more, you never did have Donald Hughes. You know that now. There's something else I want you to know. You have a chance. You have a chance for a new life. You have a chance to get out from behind these bars. Well, maybe not today and not tomorrow. Maybe not for many months, but time passes and everything must come to an end, including a prison term. What I'm saying, Amanda, is you're guilty. You know you are, the jury knows you are, and you play the defiant act, and here you stay. By the time you get out, you won't be the same Amanda Holmes. You'll be a rough, tough, middle-aged convict. Now, would you like to hear what the other way is? It involves facing up what you did. Amanda, plead guilty. Now, I don't mean walk into the courtroom and say, I'm guilty, but give me the authority to talk to the prosecutor, to negotiate, to bargain. And you get out of here while you're still a young woman with a whole life ahead of you. Well, what's your answer?
I will not plead guilty.
I won't. I won't.
As the world turns,